Hey, welcome on this LPS International Kickoff. We did some games and inner meteo of the participants. And now we'll move to the presentation and I will share some. So it's 45. I will try to, if we can do a bit more than half an hour on this with the questions. On this little presentation, really short. It will be maybe frustrating because we will not be able to ask all the questions, but there can be space for some questions. And then half an hour for the other part, that is the coaching. Can someone be the timekeeper and every 10 minutes tell me the time? So it's 45, someone at 55, 65. That reminds the time. Someone who usually is on time and has a clock inside his body at all times. Is there a volunteer for that? Please.
So you asked to do every 10 minutes, huh?
Yeah, every 10 minutes to stop me and to say, Vincent, it's 55. Oh.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you. So the passage, our reason, the way our motivation is to contribute to the joyful spread of cooperative cultures in service of the living. This is really in everything we do. We have experts of the legal, financials, and human mechanism needed to make communities and cooperatives. This is really our expertise. We have more than 36 communities, mainly in France, but we have one in Portugal and one starting in Slovenia. And yes, and we are also a network of communities, of these communities. So a network, and also, yes, we transform existing communities to make it more sustainable. We create and transform. So this is our team plus Gregory. But some people you know, some people... Okay. This is our approach. And we are really using the world as it is. We use the system as it is to turn it in our align with our values and to transform it into joy. We make rules in the present, but that are flexible because everything is changes and dynamic. So we don't have a model. We have mechanisms that you can use and adapt to your project and your way of doing things. And it's flexible. It's not carved into stones. And also our approach is to empower you on the legal, on the finance. We make things really simple, really accessible, really pedagogic for you to be in power, because we believe that the complexity of the legal and finance makes it a tool for oppression of the people who can manage this complexity. I meaning the people who have enough money to pay an army of lawyers to play with the complexity of the law at their advantage. So the more we make it accessible and the more we empower you, the more we revert these mechanisms and you are in power. So yes, this is our approach.
Vincent, can you move up the bar of Zoom?
Yeah, you see this bar? Okay, yes. Like this it's better?
Yes.
Thank you.
Cool.
So, general philosophy, the middle ground, cooperation. So we live in a world where it's individualism. It's needed to have some, we have individual needs, but it's unbalanced on competition and individualism. The opposite will be, on my perspective, a mistake to go on toxic collectivism. That will be everyone has the same needs and we all dress the same and we all eat the same. And no, there are big, there are small people. There are people who like to be in the garden, some people who like to do other things. So this is cooperation. There is a balance of we are different. We have different needs. But together, we contribute to something that is greater than us, and we have the same purpose. And there is a balance of the interest of the project and the interest of the individual. And this is really important because in everything we do at all the level, the legal and the finance, we implement this really at the core of your structures. Donc, yes. And why? Because we have a lot of projects where they do this in the way they work, but when it's not in their legal structure and in their financial configuration, the day they do not agree anymore, they will move back, they will slip back into individualism. The declination, I will say, the consequence of the values that we implement also at all levels is that human is more important than money. One person equals one voice at all times. We ensure this. It's not possible to go over this. We avoid profit and speculation. €1 equals €1. You cannot speculate and yes, there cannot be greed in the projects. Your money is retrievable. You are independent. You have your freedom. It's your money. You get it back if you want to get out of the project. You are not in prison. It's not a gift to a community. It's a donation. You can recover your money. There is a balance between, this is what we saw before. The eyes are creating the we, and the we is supporting the eyes. It's a mutual relation. There are no individual property. We believe that individual property is the source of so many conflicts, territory and property. People have the right of use of private spaces. New members are chosen by the inhabitants. It's not because I sell my shares or I will then have someone coming in the project. No, it's the people who are in the project who choose who will join the project. Collective intelligence, it works with mainly, so there are many forms of sociocracy, but it's collective intelligence. It's not hierarchy and yes, power over. And also one of our greatest, I think, characteristics is that we ensure that it's something that lives on. It's not something that we start and it's amazing, and 10 years, 20 years after, it goes down because there are things that we didn't foresee at the beginning. So we make sure that it's a project that owns itself, it's a common good, and it lives over 100, 150, even more, at least years. So this is what we coach you to implement under legal, financial, and governance systems, and human also. That is a consequence of all this. If you have questions, please just raise your hand, or if you don't manage to raise your hand, make some noise. The legal aspects. So now I'll go on the legal. Why do we do legal? We do legal because it's useless. We don't use it on an everyday basis, but when there is a problem, we need it to bounce back. Otherwise, we end in the justice courts, and it's the end of human, for us, it's the end of togetherness, and it's only about separation. Everyone loses. And the conclusion is better to have a bad agreement than a good lawsuit. So on a day-to-day basis, you don't need your legal framework. You need it when it goes wrong. Then it will be supporting you and supporting the project and making it continue and live a healthy life. This is a view. I will not go in the details of the whole framework we help you build or we provide depending on the countries. So the bylaws, the statutos, the statutes, the internal rules with the integration process, the financial contribution contract of every associate, and the cooperative contract for the use of private space. And yes, so this is a whole coherent framework that implements all what we have seen before and that we help you build up. Financial aspects, I go this because there are usually a lot of questions of this. The general philosophy is everyone provides what he can. Everyone gets what he needs. So if I put at the beginning an initial contribution of 100,000 euros or 200,000 euros, if I am a family, I will get, or even 10,000 euros. If I am a family, I will get a bigger apartment because I need more rooms for my children. If I am alone, I will get a smaller accommodation. As long as the global project, its fashion is sustainable. So we can have, in every project that we coach, we have people that come with 0 or almost 0. And this is possible because people put more. Maybe some people, usually the example is someone who is older, who has an elder who had a house to sell, so as maybe can have 200, 300,000 euros. It remains her money, so she can put it in the project. If she dies, it goes to her inheritance, to her heirs. But meanwhile, it enables people to come with 0, 10,000 in the project to join the project and live there also. So there is really this solidarity that enables there is a real diversity and solidarity between social classes. Okay. I have a lot of questions usually on the monthly payments. So people who are in the project pay 3 things. They pay the occupation rent. This is because I have the use of a private space. And also it's needed because this is what enables the project to own itself. So to have its independence and to be a common good, really autonomous. And because this money can be used for maintenance also. So it's money that can be used over the years for maintenance. But it's 4 to 5 times under the market price. Yes?
It's 10 minutes.
Thank you. Perfect.
And can I ask, I think it's Katarina that to mute the mic because we hear a lot of noise from somebody who is busy in the room.
Yeah, thank you. Otherwise I can do it, Katarina, if... Thank you, Alan. Oh, she did it already. So yes, so the occupation rate is 4 to 5 times, or yeah, I would say 5 times, can be even more. I would say 4 to 5 times under the market price. So for example, here, if it's 1,000, the market price for an apartment, I will pay 200 euros per month to use this private space. And this is money that enables the accountant's balance, but also to regenerate the asset and for it to own itself. Then there are the charges. We pay together water, electricity, and everything. Usually in this project is cheaper because first we mutualized, and also because we have solar panels, we have ecological project with good isolations. So in terms of it's under also the usual prices that are paid for these services. And there is one third thing in my monthly payment. So I will pay, for example, 200 here, I don't know, 50 and 100 here euros, okay. And we have additional monthly savings for the inhabitants. So they put every month, imagine I come with 10,000 at the beginning as initial contribution that the project owes me when I leave the project, or I put 100,000. I also put monthly some money in that amount that is owed to me when I leave. And this enables to have enough cash flow, for example, to pay a bank loan if there is a bank loan. And it transfers the debt from the bank to the inhabitants. So also it's good for the financial independence of the project. And this is a collective objective also. So people can put more if they are able to put more monthly because they have more incomes, and people can put less. It's a collective objective. Okay. Okay. And it's a way also for you to make some savings. Instead of having a big rent and you have to invest and make a credit to buy a house, and this is the way you make savings, you have a really low rent and you can use part of your incomes to just put money on the side and to make some money for tomorrow to give to your inheritance, or if you need someday to buy a new car, or I don't know, you have this money available on the side. Okay. Why we can do this? Because we use the associate current account as if it was a bank account. It's not a bank account, but it's to make it simple, it's the same. I put my money in the cooperative in my Vincent current account. It's like it's the same as a bank account. I can put money and retrieve money. The way I will really go quickly on this slide because we can talk about it a lot of times. So the cooperator, to put it another way, what I just said. I'm an inhabitant. There is the accountancy of the cooperative, the accounting of the cooperative. And there is here my current account, okay? Vincent's current account. So what I pay as initial contribution, it goes in my current account. It's money that I can withdraw when I leave the project. The charges, no, it's something that I pay. It doesn't go in my current account because it's used to pay the bills. Same for the rent. It's used to pay to cover for the depreciation and to pay the bills. So this, I don't recover my 200 euros of rent. But my monthly savings goes in my current account, and it can be used by the cooperative as cash flow to reimburse, for example, contributors or banks if needed. It can also be used to balance current account. If someone has a lot of money and wants monthly to have incomes, it's possible and balance. It can be used also for to provision for work. And we can manage withdrawal, small withdrawals or full withdrawals if the person leaves the project. The cooperative can also have in parallel the important things to see here that with only the inhabitants, it's financially viable. Let's imagine that, like most projects, you also have an activity, I don't know, agriculture, a shop, food, services, consulting services, therapy, or a mix of all that. You sell things. Yes, there is a question of Luis.
Just a quick question. You said withdrawals are possible when I leave, but is it also possible to do withdrawals while staying in the cooperative? So, for example, as you said.
Yeah. What we do is we usually, for the inhabitants, we say that you can agree on, for example, 3,000 that people can withdraw if they need, because this is not a big thing for the cooperative. And if I have, I might always need a few thousand, 5,000, depends on the size. If it's a 200,000 project, it's not the same if it's a 4 million project. 4 million project, it can be 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, 10,000 that people can withdraw if they need. And when they withdraw it, it's they have to commit on they have to make a calendar of putting it back. But this is the baseline of what's in the contract. It means if we do not manage to agree, people have contractually the capacity to say, no, if I need 10,000, you have to give me 10,000 or 3,000. And then I will make a calendar on how to put it back in my account, because I might need, I don't know, my cars broke down or my kids go to university. I might need some money at some point. But this doesn't prevent you to agree on giving back more. If someone needs 20, 30, 40,000 and you agree collectively, you can do it. So the agreements are for when it's not possible to agree. But if you agree, you can do more. That's what's in the contract. But the main thing is that inhabitants, their money stays because most of it is used for the financial safety of the project. It has to be some money that cannot move a lot. So inhabitants' money is here for that. But the day you leave the project, you don't have any more contract to live there, your money then is much more available, because you become you have the status of contributor, not inhabitant. And contributor can withdraw their money when they want, but with annual payments. They cannot put it, if they have 200,000, maybe they can have 30,000 or 50,000 per year, but just on demand. Does it answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. I was in and out because my internet is spotty, but thanks for now. Okay. I think it does.
I will not go in more details because we go in all the details and there is much more. There is a 4 session of 2 hours on this, on the financial part to empower you. And then let's imagine you have an activity, therapy, agriculture, something, a shop. These incomes can be used for anything. You can pay the part of the charge, so lower the price of the charge, lower the price of the rent, or you can even have people who have incomes and it goes into their current account, for example. So it's extra. The idea is after 100 years, the rents they reimburse 100% everything. So they reimbursed all the bank, then all the contributors and all the inhabitants. And the cooperative owns itself after 100 years, and people can come without initial contributions. So the effort is really at the beginning, and the more we advance in time at the scale of decades, the lower the financial pressure becomes for people to join the projects, the collective financial pressure. And after, because at the beginning, you need to choose people for who they are and also collectively for what they have. You cannot put a project out of the ground with 0 people that have money because the project needs money. But after 100 years, because you put from the beginning the mechanisms for the project to own itself, you can choose people only for who they are without any expectation on what they have. So you are preparing the soil for next generation to make it more easy for next generations to join the project. The fundings can come from the states, from pension funds, of course, but the 2 main things that you can use is contributors, people, and this will coach you on how to get money from people that are non-habitants and put money in your project. Because once it's an ethical project that no one gets €1 out of it because there is no possibility for speculation, and that you are happy to and you have joy to do it, you will attract people who want to be part of it and want to be able to say, I'm contributing to this happening. It gives meaning to my life.
Vincent, 10 minutes ago
Yes.
or past.
Sir, thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
And Eva have a hand up.
Thank you. Eva, go ahead. It's really comfortable to have you. Thank you, Helen.
We also have interesting internet, so let me know if I should turn my camera off. My main question around the model in general is in terms of paying back contributors. When we're looking at a 100-year timeline, how can we guarantee contributors can be paid back in 5 years, in 10 years, etc.?
Yeah, contributors. Yeah,
a proposal.
yeah, it's a good question. Thank you. Contributors, first of all, they are reimbursed on demand. So they put money. You have to ask these people. For example, if someone comes to you and say, I want to put 50,000, what you can ask him is, okay, you sure you want to put 50,000? You sure you don't want to put 30,000, but it's money that you sure you know today that you don't need in the coming years. So you really look for people who have money that they don't need and they put here in the project. One day, if you need it, we have all the mechanisms to make it available. But please put money that you know you don't need, or otherwise tell us and we can choose to take it or not because it's not the same. When you have a lot of contributors like that with relatively average amounts, not one with 1 million, but some with 50, 100, 10,000, let's say 20,000. Then sometimes one of them will want to withdraw, and you have the capacity because we help you to put a reserve. You have to build from the beginning a reserve fund, and you have cash flow every month. You have the rents that comes as cash, and you have the monthly savings that comes as cash. So you have cash. You have the cash to be able to reimburse that people, because when they ask for reimbursement, it's not on one day that you have to reimburse 200,000. It will be on 4 years that you will have to reimburse 200,000. It's 50,000 per year, for example. So you have cash every month that comes. You have time to reimburse them. You have also always the opportunity, if you manage to find 1, 2, 3, 4 contributors, in case 2 of them are going at the same time and it's big amounts and you already use the reserve for anything, you still have the possibility to find new contributors because you did it by the past. So the same recipe will work. So in the existing project that we have today, we have no one that was not able to reimburse contributors that are leaving, because for me the real challenge is to get to have contributors. When we coach you, you have your project, you've done it, you have contributors, you've done the hardest part. Then managing contributors that comes and go in and out, it's easy. I don't know if I answered the question. Hello, Eva?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Alan? Alan?
Yes, my question is, if you reimburse of withdraw some things like that, is there some interest or not? It's because you start with €1 is €1, so
€1 is €1. Yeah.
So it means like you put €50,000 in the beginning. After 10 years or 20 years, you want to withdraw that, you want to back, it's 50,000.
Yeah, the only thing for the contributors, they can have a partial, I say partial indexation on inflation, because inflation is not speculation. So it might be a bit more than €50,000, but not because of speculation, but because of inflation. Because I go in the details of this, but inflation. For example, if my apartment, I have an apartment, it's worth €100,000. Tomorrow it can be worth €120,000, but there can be two different reasons. One, it can be because there is speculation. The money has the same value. When I go to the shop buying things, it has the same value, but there is much more demand and less offer, so people are speculating and now it's expensive. Or it can be worth 120,000 because everything increased, the price of the things at the shops and also the incomes of the people, even if with a delay. Our incomes in inflation periods are, with discrepancies and with time difference, are also improving. So it's just the €1 is not worth €1 anymore. The €1 of 2000 is not the €1 of 2010. So we index on inflation. And why we do that? We do that because otherwise contributors are losing money. And we just want them to not lose money, buying power. They lose a little bit actually, with 2% per year maximum. But above that, we index. Otherwise, it's a lose of. It's like I put money, it disappears. Does it answer the question?
Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you. Very clear.
Yeah. But remember that people. I know that we are used in our world to say, I put money and I will give you money in return. And we have sometimes trouble to imagine that it's not the motivation and it's not the people you want to put money in your project. Because this is the main problem in our world. If you start to have people in your project that put the money to have return on investment, even if it's 3%, then at some point, if you have to make a decision between paying this 3% or making something ecological, something human, your priority will be to pay this 3% because otherwise you lose your investors. So you can make the most ethical project in the world if it's based on a financial system that is to give money, to make money out of money. When you will have a pathway where you have to choose between, okay, the ethical things to do is this, but we have to make a choice on how to get money to pay, otherwise the project is collapsing. You will choose this path because it jeopardizes the project itself. If you attract people that are really putting money because it's meaningful what you do and because it brings them joy, then they won't put this pressure on the project, and the project can make choices with a clear mind and saying, okay, we do this because it makes sense, not because we have to give money to some people. I don't know if it's clear enough, but this requires also a change of practice in our own way.
It's clear. It's clear,
yeah.
and brings my heart more in peace. Like,
okay,
distressing.
Good, thank you. Okay, I'm done here with the presentation of the approach and all we implement that I try to do really briefly. So we can go on the, is there any questions? And then I go for the coaching that we propose to the projects. Okay, I go, or you can ask me questions after. So our coaching proposition, we do the general principles. So it's 2 sessions that go much more deeply on what we just saw and talks also about governance. And this is to deeply understand our philosophy, not just the overall view. And for this, it's 400 euro because it's to be, how do you say, member of the association Les Passages. And the membership is 400 euros the first year, and then 15 euros per month. And then you have access to this. And even we can record it, and you can have access when people join your project to see all these recordings. Then there is the LPS toolbox that we will see in the next slide that are all the details about we'll see in the next slide, the legal framework, to build your whole legal framework. So it's 2 sessions on we'll see afterwards. And in parallel, so it's a 24 months coaching process with individual coaching, because this is multi-group sessions. There is one individual group session every trimester to do the tailor-made, the individual adaptation to help you adapt to your specific needs, and to see also, we do what's needed in this session. If it's legal, it's legal. If it's human, it's human. And we manage to put you on tracks with your specific needs.
The minutes are just passed.
Yeah. Sorry? Yeah.
The 10
Thank
minutes,
you.
yeah.
Thank you. And yes, we have until, okay, perfect. So we have time. Thank you. And then there is every 2 times per trimester, there are 2 multi-group practices in breakout rooms because we realized that this was not enough. There is a lot of theory, but with this only, with this LPS toolbox, our experience is that 50% of the project that only with this managed to create the cooperative, buy the land, and settle there with their project. So, but to go more than that is already an amazing figure in our world of building communities, where we say 1 out of 10 succeeds. Huh? It's already 50%. But we saw with time that sometimes there are individual needs that were not addressed. And sometimes also there was theory that was difficult for group to put into practice. So we make practice groups, collective, and we put you in breakout rooms with people from other projects to be able to learn from each other and to practice together what needs to be practiced and to be discussed together. And it's a peer-to-peer learning space. So this is 24 months. Today in France, it's 390 euros per month. I go in the details of the toolbox. So this toolbox of 10 group sessions, there is 2 sessions about the bylaws, 2 sessions about the internal rules. Yes, this is to register your coop officially. This is the official document of your cooperative, and it needs to be a safety net for you. This is really how you work in an operational way on a day-to-day basis together. How do you function together? This is all your financial commitments. So there is 1 contract for every person. And so this is also, we do 2 sessions on this, on the financial contract. Each time we provide you the example, and then you adapt it to with the space you can adapt, and you adapt it to your situation. We explain to you why we do things, and then you can make your own choices. Then we have 2 sessions on financial mechanisms, how to make the management of your project on the economical way. And then there is the 2 sessions on the cooperative contract. This is the right of use and what are the commitments for people who are inhabitants. Okay, so this is the toolbox. And for the pricing, we made a pricing that is different when everything is available, 100% of the legal framework, and we have already 36 projects. We have lots of diversity of application available. This is the 390 euros per month. So for project in France that we do already, and we are starting abroad. So for countries like Portugal, where we have already a legal framework, there is a different price if it's a higher cost of living countries or a lower cost of living countries. So higher cost, we think France, Netherlands, all the more northern countries, and lower cost of living is Portugal, for example. And for the countries where for the moment there is zero legal framework, we will put you with all the frameworks in English. You will have to work also with lawyers, and we will coach you on that, and we will prepare the meetings with you, and we'll debrief the meeting with you in order to be able to, because we are interested, we make a special price, but we are interested in having this framework done also in that country to be able to propose it to other people there. And because you will have to adapt, for example, in Portugal, there are things that were in France that are not possible, but also there are things in Portugal that are possible that are not possible in France. So we adapt to the local context. And so we make also different price if it's a higher cost of living country or if it's a lower cost of living country.
Vincent?
Yes.
Sorry to disturb. Could it be that your shared document is not shown to everybody? It's only me that can't see it. Are you sharing something now?
Yeah, I'm sharing from the beginning. Yeah, everyone, the others are seeing?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, I saw in the beginning and it vanished. So I thought maybe, okay, sorry.
Okay. I will send the PowerPoints to the people who put the emails at the beginning and from whom I already have the email. And I will send the recording also, so you can share for people you know in your group that were not present today or around you that might be interested. So you will be able to share the recording. Is it okay? Hello? I don't know who asked the question actually. And it's not disturbing at all. Please disturb me. If this is disturbing, please disturb me more. Okay. Okay. Any questions on this?
For the second option, when you between the dotted lines, are these all different options you can choose? So for example, you could pay 390 per month if you want everything. You would pay between 190 and 290 per month if you just want the documents. And you would pay between 190 a month and 90 a month if you want the documents adapted and you're willing to put in the work of adapting the documents to your country.
Who is asking the question?
Yeah, actually, it's Eva.
Okay, so yeah, you cannot choose actually. It's if you are a project in France, you need the legal framework from France. This is the price. If you are in Portugal, because we already have the framework, and it's a lower cost of living country, it's not Switzerland.
I'm in Spain.
And you're in Spain, so we don't have the framework, and it's a lower cost of living country, so it will be 90 euros per month.
Okay, and we would help adopt the framework to Spanish in this process.
And we will yeah, we will. It will be part of the individual call sheet. But if we need an extra just dedicated on that session to prepare with the lawyers and to debrief the lawyers, yeah, we will. And this is under our working cost because we invest in you to work together to build up the framework. Next coaching that we do, you will be if another Spanish country comes for us next year, for example, because we have done the work with you, they will then be paying 190 per month because we will already have an example of what's feasible there.
Thank you
will
so
not
much.
have to do the work you're doing.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your question because it can help a lot to understand. It makes me rephrase in another way. So that's it. Do you have any questions? Please share. Hello, hello. Yes,
I have
Sarah?
one. Oh, sorry.
Hello, everyone. Just a quick question. It's actually coming from our experience here in Slovenia, trying to adapt already the concept. I was wondering if through Gene Europe or any kind of other network, it would be also possible to benefit of network regarding lawyers, actually to find good and involved and curious lawyers that would be glad to work with us and cooperate also in this journey. So that's a question. Do you also think about fostering a bit this lawyer network all around Europe to be supportive? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you're right. The lawyer will be a challenge to find a good lawyer in your country. I think my belief is that it's not feasible. We did not manage in France to find good lawyers. We never found I think it's like there's I will speak on my point of view. The problem we have when we work with lawyers is that they cannot make the difference usually on what is the practices and what is the law. So they are so into the practices, they are making contracts every day for lots of companies. And in France, we didn't find anyone that is specialized in cooperative law that is completely different from the other laws. In Portugal, we found it was easier because we found someone in Portugal that was, and even with him, he was used to the practices of, let's say, cooperatives that are still making speculation, that are still protecting individual property sometimes. So your approach, yeah, we can ask the Gen, ask everyone if first they have lawyers, if they can help you also for lower, if you can pay them less, if they know a little bit about the cooperative code in the country. So this is the priority. Someone that knows a little bit the cooperative code, otherwise it's a nightmare. Someone that knows the country, and someone that can help you a little bit pro bono, or I don't know, that will be the priority. I don't know where to find it. If the Gen can help, we can ask. And the strategy with the lawyer is to be naive, because lawyer, when it's not what they see usually, they have the reflex of saying it's not legal. But then you have to ask them, okay, what line of the law, what part of the law is it illegal with? You have to be really naive. And then they will tell you, oh, there is two possibilities. Most of the time they will tell you, oh, it's not that it's illegal, but it's that it's not usually done. Okay, so then we come, okay, but this is how we want to do it. Or they will tell you it's this line, and then we can say, okay, so in the cooperative code, for this reason, it's not possible. We can go back to why we do things and what we want to do, and we can adapt within the framework. That's what we did in Portugal. And the only way to do that is to act really naive and say, I want to understand, please explain to me why it's illegal, how, and which part of the code of the legal. Yeah.
Vincent, 2 minutes ago, it was 10 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have 30 more minutes for questions, and but we don't have to use it if it's all clear for you. I see, but I see some raised hand. Nini, Lineke. Nini, go ahead.
I actually
maybe just to make sure before Sarah, it answers your question. Okay, go ahead. Go, Nini, sorry.
Can I go first? Yeah, because my question kind of builds on the previous question.
Okay.
But we have been working with the lawyer for the last 3 months, and stumbling our way through it and spending thousands of euros already
Yeah.
on this lawyer. I wish that we had known about you sooner, but now I'm wondering if we would start to work with you, would we start from scratch again, or what would we do with the work that has been done so far?
Yes, I think I don't know. I'm guessing that you will have to start from scratch again. Yeah. Did you already create the structure?
So I'm not the one who is working with the lawyer, but from what I understand is that they are quite close to finalizing the establishment of the cooperative.
First of all, you don't need to create it before making the offer of buying the land. You need the first thing you need to do is to find the land and make an offer on the land. And then on the contract you make to say, I will buy the land, you put a clause that you managed to put in every country for the moment that we've been, is to say that you put someone in, for example, Vincent, I'm signing the commitment to buy, I don't know the name in English, in my own name, but there is a clause that say I can choose someone else or a company to substitute the final buying. So first you sign that contract, and then you have at least 3 months, but you will try to negotiate more. We'll coach you on how to negotiate more time on this contract. And then you have time to create your structure at this moment, because it's no need to create a structure now. You will pay accountants, you will pay costs, not knowing if you will buy a land now or in 2 years, or because it's always something that is uncertain. So first, make sure that you have a land.
What is the cost of having the co-op already before buying the land?
Any structure you will have to pay in Portugal around, if you choose a good accountant, around 250 euros per month of accountancy. In France, it's lower. It can be 150 per month of accountancy, because you have a legal structure. You have a company. It's a company. A cooperative is a company. Any company that you create, you need to pay accountants to do the accountancy. So you will have this at the minimum cost of your company every month that you don't need to pay. Why would you pay that every month if maybe it takes 2 years to find the land?
Right. Okay.
So really put this in pause. Wait, there is no emergency. The emergency is the land.
Mm-hmm.
To make a promise on the land.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you. Yes, Nini.
Thank you firstly for the presentation. It was really nice. Previously, I attended Sandra's quite long presentation, which gave us a lot of inspiration. So, okay, I'm going to say it briefly. We bought a land to start an eco-village in Georgia. It's the first eco-village in Georgia, in South Caucasus, actually. And yeah, it was a very challenging time with the legal stuff. Because the cooperatives actually doesn't work well in Georgia, even though we have a lot of agriculture cooperatives and stuff, but somehow the legal, how do you say, I don't know, the law doesn't really work for cooperatives. So what we decided in the end was to buy the land with our organization. So it's under the NPO now, nonprofit organization. And we took a lot of loans basically from the people who wanted to live in the eco-village, like 0% loans, and it kind of works so far, and we have like very clear agreements, but I think the main question what I have first is that, do you have any practices working outside of EU? Because like, and Georgia is quite specific because it's a very, we have our own language and alphabet, and anyway, so it just works very differently. And if you also could imagine, or if you can recommend, because we still want to have a cooperative, not for the land ownership, but maybe to have a separate entity as a cooperative who will be like leasing the land maybe from the organization for the agricultural activities. So if you have practiced such a combination of legal entities, or if you have any recommendation about it. So it's these 2 questions, I guess. Yeah. Thank you.
I will try to answer as precisely and briefly as I can, but I think I would need to know more to be able to, and we need more time to go specifically on your case. First of all, I don't know if it's adaptable, but I think it's adaptable. Cooperative philosophy is really old and it's really everywhere in the world. It has really implemented. It's just that now the practices really have nothing to do. Even in France, what we do is nothing related to what are the practices of cooperative, the usual cooperatives. And so when we ask the people from the law, they are saying it's not possible and it's not the way we do cooperatives in our country. But in fact, it's possible. In Portugal, it was the same. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not saying it's possible. I'm saying maybe it's possible and you don't know it, but maybe not. Maybe it's not possible and it's different in Georgia. It's also a possibility. In the way we do the structure, we have other cooperatives that can have or other structures that are making an activity and renting the place. It's completely possible, of course. So you could do that. And this is something that's much more common and lots of people use, and it is available to have a cooperative for a shop, a cooperative for I don't know, any activity. Usually in countries it exists, and you can just create that kind of structure with a governance that we can help you, but is sociocracy more, so based a bit on the governance of what we do. And you can make it rent a space and being, this is what we do in all the projects. Also, if there is a specific aspect of the project that is really an activity. Why? And especially when it's people from outside, because we don't want to mix governance from people who come only for the agriculture part with the people that are inhabitants. We don't want to give them the same power in the structure, because some are really more committed. They are inhabitants, they are here every day, they are putting money. And some are just coming once a week to work in a shop. For example, it's a collective shop. So you need another structure for that. If it's the inhabitants that are fully in charge of the activity, it can be the same cooperative. And to
10
find an
minutes,
answer,
10 minutes past.
The foundation is, if you manage to do it a foundation, it's great. It's just that it's you have less possibilities of fundings. You can only receive donation or loans. And I think every country, it's not always easy loans. I don't know how you manage loans from personal people. I think in France, it can be a bit dodgy legally. So I'm not sure it's 100% legal, but I don't know. It depends, because there are specific rules of foundation in every country. But you cannot make associate current accounts, and you cannot make the thing of I put money, I recovered one account. You need a real company, not a foundation that is based on donation. And you cannot. The initial spirit of a foundation is I receive donation and money doesn't goes back. And I can make loans, but to the bank. This is the initial spirit. But if it works with you, just keep what's working. You don't. If you manage to finance, it's just that you have less tools and means to attract money energy, because if for example, if someone from your project has money on the side that it knows he doesn't need, he cannot put it on the project, and you have to reimburse him every month to put a contract of reimbursement. And on your specific case, to transform would be maybe to transform a foundation into a cooperative. You have to see if it's possible. I think it's not possible. So you would have to sell to a new cooperative, and you have to see if the cooperative has to pay because in Portugal, if you buy with a cooperative, you don't pay the taxes. So if it's the case, it's okay. You can sell at the same price to a cooperative and it's okay. But if you have to pay the taxes, then you cannot do that in the existing project. Come to us before you buy.
Can I add one quick question?
And then I take Eva. Sorry, Eva.
But you can go first, and I can also ask.
No, it's another question that's related to the same subject.
It's just related
so go ahead.
Okay, so I guess the question.
Eva, and then Luis.
So when, for example, this NPO is like, actually the question is that, like, what kind of agreements do you make between these different legal structures? So for example, if the land is owned by the organization and I have also a cooperative, some of us are part of it. So do you make like, and payments, like what kind of
It's
practices do you
really
have?
easy. It's inhabitants. To make it really simple, it has a contract of use of space. It can pay a rent, it can pay the charge, and it can pay monthly savings, and it can have an initial contribution. So it will have a rent 5 times under the market price. It will have charges according to what is spent. You can make counting of what is used in that space. And yeah, and it can do monthly savings or not. And what is interesting is that you can make the investment as the one that can make the investment is the other structure. The main structure, the main cooperative is here to manage the real estate and the investments and the money. This is the purpose of the main structure. The other one is here for an activity, so it's renting a space as an inhabitant is renting a space. The inhabitant is renting a space for private use. The other COP is renting the space for professional use. So it's a bit different contract, but it's the same philosophy. And then it's a moral entity. It has a representative as an inhabitant in the other structure. So it has the representative, let's say the president of that will represent this inhabitant in the organs of the main structures. And yeah. It answers your question because I can go on. Okay, thank you. So Eva, Luis, Francisco.
I'm wondering if there's any way to speed up the process. You framed over 2 years, and while it may be delusionally, our group is trying to pull some things together in the next 3 months. So just, do you see any possible forward with a sped up timeline, or should we really take the 2 years before buying something?
No, you buy now. No, you buy now. The 2 years, no. Thank you for your question. We start with the state. We start to coach you on the philosophy, and also one of the things we'll see in the philosophy is the strategy to buy. Then we see the bylaws. So you will need in your country some time, maybe 1, 2, 3 months, I don't know, a few months, depends on the complexity, to have the bylaws. Once you have your contract to buy, and once you have your bylaws, you can create your cooperative. Then the next thing we see are it's sessions every 2 weeks. So in a few months, you have all the information to have your bylaws and to have the contract, the financial contract, to put the money in the project. What we might take a time that I don't know is the time for the interaction with the local lawyers, depending this, I don't know. But in a few months, we give you everything you need to be able to create your company, buy the land and have the money. Then we go on the rest, and then we coach you because it's not enough. You will still build up things with the coming things, and also every year you will have to do the accountability, and we'll coach you on that part also to make all your accountants fits well, work with the accountants, find a good accountant, please. This is key to your projects more than the lawyer and everything. It's find someone that really is professional and efficient, because it can makes you win so much time and money and pay the good price for him. Don't try to make savings on an accountant. It's a really bad choice. It's yeah. It can make you save so much money if he knows what he's doing. He can make you optimize things so well. And if he's in the team if he's curious for what you're doing and wants to understand and know, it's amazing. We can make amazing things together. And so that's why we do the 2 years process. And also because then there is the human part, and so we manage this and to get into the practice. It's a passage. We are called the passage. It's a passage. But we are operational. You can do things quickly, and then we help you on the way.
Perfect, thank you.
So then Luis, then Francisco, then Benjamin.
Yeah, just quick question. So, you know, we are in Gardens of Life. At the moment, we have a different idea. We do want private ownership at the moment. And I was just, I'm not saying this or that model is better or right or wrong, and we might change in the future, but do you also offer your services to, for example, us, because we also need all of this help that you mentioned, but we have a different idea currently for how we want to put the legal structure. So, but I think we could still benefit a lot from working with you. So my question is like, do you also do this, or do you strictly stick to your model that you just described and only offer services to groups who want to implement that?
Yeah, we don't stick to the model, but we stick to the values. So if there is individual property, we don't coach, because I mean, lots of project happens like that, but I think it's a waste of time, because it's a huge risk for the project in 10, 20, 30, 40 years. It will, I believe, and we have the experience of this. We have so many proof of projects that have been amazing for 40 days, for 40 years, and one day it disappears, because these things were, it's not a problem today. Today, individual ownership, it's even easier because it requires less work from you, because you don't have to work on your fear of based on your money and fear of money and fear of so you find a lot of people, because if you tell people join the project, you keep the ownership, people feel safe, they don't have to come into the trust of the community, and it's easy to make a project happen like that. What I want you is to take the hardest way now to make the work on yourself you need to make something sustainable. And if you don't do it, I don't believe it's worth it. I'm wasting my time coaching projects that will not last.
Understood. Thanks.
But I'm not. I'm really open on the structures. It can be something else. Foundation, for example, it's okay. I'm happy to coach a foundation. It's just for they will have. It's harder for them to have money, but I'm happy to coach them, because I know there is no speculation. I know that it respects the values. I'm not closed on the model. I'm closed. I'm really closed on the values that it implements. Francisco.
I
want to say it's before you start, 10 minutes are passed.
Thank you, Alain. You're an amazing timekeeper. I have to invite you at all my my meetings. Yes, Francisco.
Vincent, what kind of support could we have from Le Passage before we do any move, before buying any land, doing anything, just to check if our idea, the plot we found is
sorry, I cut you. Yeah, I understood, because I know you and we discussed yesterday, so I know where you are. And that's why we make the membership at 400 euros, and where you have everything you need to understand in detail the philosophy. So it's recorded and everyone has access to it, and also how to the strategy to buy the land. So start with this. If you don't know, just start with this. And then you have, and when you are more ready, more close to really be concrete into, either there is two possibilities. Either you wait for this land, and if it happens, then you take the coaching. Either you know that no matter the lands, you want to make a community, you want to make a project, and the land, it doesn't matter, you will find the land, then you can start right away the coaching, because we can already prepare you and you win a lot of time, and this will help you, because you enter also, when you do the coaching, the way you will speak about the project will be different, because the way you will live the project will be different. So you will attract different people in a different way. So it has an impact on the group you will constitute and everything. So if your objective is to make a community, to live, because you believe, like me, that individualism is making us unhappy and lonely, and that cooperation is not easy every day, but in the end, we have more trust in people, in the world, in ourselves, and more happiness. If this is the path you want to take, start already, because you will learn a lot, and you will be able to reflect it on the people around you when you will be building your project. On your case, I see there is more specific land, and if it's not this land, because the people are, sometimes there is a dynamic around the land, and we know that if we lose the land, we lose the dynamic around the people. So wait to see if it becomes concrete for start with the pack, the starting pack, the membership, and then if you sign something for the land, then go for the coaching.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
So that price for the starting pack is always for each person.
No, it's group. All the price I put are group. Huh? We coach group, and we want we empower all the group. We don't want to have one person coming at the meetings and becoming someone who knows better than the others. We coach groups. It's price for groups.
Okay. Thank you, Vincent.
You're welcome. That's why we are really cheap. Huh? Cheaper than the lawyer that will make you just the bylaws for that you cannot use. So yeah, no, we are really cheap because we do groups. Yes, Dylan. No, Benjamin and then Dylan, I think. Sorry, Benjamin and then Dylan.
Thank you. So first, I want to thank you. It was very interesting. I think your model is enlightening for a lot of things. I realized during the call that we are already too far. So we already bought the land, we already created the foundation, we already are pretty close to start building the housing and all of that. So it's not going to be a good fit for us. However, I would like to take the opportunity to ask something that has been a struggle for us is the financing. And to find external financing, especially in the current context where the interest rate have been increasing significantly at the worst time for us. So in your financing mix that you have in most of your models that you have followed, is it more contributors or is it more banks? And how do you have any kind of advice? Free of charge, obviously, because the best advice are for the one that contribute. But is there any tricks or advice that you can give us on how to secure some financing without spending too much time and money on that?
The thing of the foundation is it's really difficult to attract money because you need people to donate, and it's a higher step than putting money that I can recover someday, and most of the time I don't recover if I don't need. So yeah, financing with foundation is a challenge. Usually what we do with projects, because sometimes people really want to do a donation and they are big donators. So do a foundation and then the foundation puts the money in the project, in the cooperative. You put the money in foundation with an order to direct it to that project and to stay there. Yeah. And then it's even better for the project. So you have the foundation, and you have the project that is financed, but you still have the cooperative that can attract other means. It's way easier to make bank loans, and you can have people who put money in an associate current account.
And we have that on the side as well for different projects, like for the land and to
but who owns the land? Who owns the land?
It's going to be the foundation, and it's
going to be.
Yeah.
It's not already?
It is partly.
The more you can put out of the foundation, it's better to direct the money of the foundation to an entity that owns, because the entity that can leverage money is the owning entity.
Yeah.
Because banks give money if you have something, they don't take risk.
The guarantees.
So the guarantees. So they cannot lend money to something that owns nothing. And they can, if you have an entity that owns the land, then they can give money to that because they know that whatever happens, the land is here and can be sold. And it's the same with the contributors. We put, to make them safe, we put a nuclear button that is here not to be used. This is the interest of nuclear button. It's here just to make sure that we commit to our initial commitment. that the contributor can, if he's not reimbursed after 2 years of money that is due, he can ask for all the assets of the cooperative to be sold at with how do you say auction.
Yeah.
So this is a big commitment, and it makes the contributor, okay, I'm safe. I can put 200,000 because it's easy to say, yes, we will reimburse you. We put all the mechanisms in place, and 10, 20 years after, some new people are here. They say, oh, we don't care. The money is here. If they ask for it, we don't reimburse. We don't care about having a reserve. We don't care. We don't pay rents anymore. We don't have collective commitments. But there is this nuclear button. They say, okay, now you sell everything, you lose the project. So because there is this button, they are reassured. And we keep our initial commitment of making it viably, economically viable. But to be able to have this nuclear button, you need to have the assets in your possession.
Very clear.
So this is, I sorry, I don't have a space. I can try to investigate if something comes up.
Sure. And
Foundations.
my question was, so how do you find those contributors? Because for the moment we are more in the nearby circle, like people we know, and that's a limited number of resource. And do you help groups to actually look for larger funding possibilities? Because we don't really want to work with banks. Let's be honest. We don't want to.
Why?
Because we don't want to. From an ethical point of view, we are preferring to skip the funding through banks.
I will
not all
try to
banks, obviously, but most banks, let's say.
There are 2 questions. I will try to answer this quickly, and then I will go to Dylan.
Sure.
And then we will close the day. And if you have more questions, what I will do is the project that are interested in moving forward with the coaching, but still have some questions. Before that, we will make a specific individual session with your group, and then we can move forward or not with the coaching. The first thing what that you said is, sorry, I forgot.
The bank.
No, before.
How to find contributors.
I'm thinking contributors.
And the 10
you will
minutes are
change
just
mindset.
passed.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Alan. Yes. How can I? You
about
will
the
find
contributors.
Them, if you when you will be really, it's something you don't do it for you. You do it for them. All the banks, all the ethical banks, where do they get their money from? And it's more and more ethical banks. Where do they get their money from? They get money from people who wants to pay more because they pay more fees in an ethical bank than in a normal bank. They have less interest. They put their money in an ethical bank because for them, it's heartbreaking to know that their money is being used by their bank to make weapons and to make bad things. So there are many people around you, but you will connect to them if your project really aligns, and you will have to really have aligned values. That's the first thing, to have joy of sharing them and to communicate on them. It can be making events presential. It can be on the social network. You will have to be communicating. We look for contributors. And then as soon as someone is saying, I'm interested, you have to say, okay, you want to know more? We book a session together and explain to you the contract. And when they see the contract and they see that everything is safe for them and they could put their money here and it makes 100% more sense than putting it in ethical banks, then they will put money in your project. But you really have to shift that scarcity mode of we need to find investors that will want money for the. So you have really to do this shift first. And the second thing, it goes to ethical bank. Me, I'm really mitigated on ethical bank. Depends on which ones. Some of them that I know are a lot of greenwashing, first of all. And second of all, I want to invite you to reflect on something is what is an ethical bank? It's a bank that is financing ethical projects. Okay. So if you look for where to put your money, look for an ethical bank, because the bank will use your money to go to ethical project. But if you are looking to borrow money, look for any bank, because you are an ethical project. So if a normal bank gives you money, you are turning this bank more ethical. I don't understand why you are looking for ethical bank to borrow money, because the purpose is for banks to finance ethical project. You are an ethical project. Look for any bank that gives you the best rate. And instead of going for ethical bank, I know why people do that. We go to ethical bank because it's easier to present the project as a cooperative and everything, and they are more used to work with that. The normal bank, they are not used. So we coach you on how to present yourself to them in a way that they are more used. And this way you can get better rates than if you go to ethical bank that we put you higher rates. Why should ethical project have higher rates? I don't understand. Than a real estate crappy project of making money. So I close on that. I can.
Oh, thank you.
It really activates
going
me,
to
this
feed
subject.
some reflection. So perfect. Thank you very much.
I can talk a lot on it. So I pass to Dylan.
Yeah, thank you, Vincent, for the presentation first, and for me, so the last question, I will just talk briefly about what we do. So already we have a farm for 4 years here. That's our work, and we are 3, let's say 4, let's say a bit more people actually living and working from this farm. And aside of it, we have also a little cafe shop to sell vegetable from us and producers around us. So basically, I say this because what you are talking about is mainly a coaching for living, collective of living. And in our case, in the future, we want it to be collective of living, but like basically more a collective farm than a collective of living. And my question is simple: does what you present is also adaptable for something that is more around an activity? I mean, an activity together with living, let's say 50-50. And does this can adapt also to this?
If there are people living there, there will be the living activity, and there will be the ownership of the land, and there will be the accommodations. It can be light accommodation. I know in your case it's more light accommodations, so even without urban licensed construction. So you have to differentiate, because in order to have cooperation, you need to know who you are. If you mix the things, there is the owning of the space and people who are committed on living there, and these people and other people are committed to another activity that is farming. And I believe that cooperation is easier if we don't put everything in the same structure, because then it brings confusion. It's better to have 2 entities with different interests, with different way of functioning, with a different governance, with different things. And then they can really well cooperate and have interactions, and you can have money from one makes the investment for the other has a really low rent or no rent, even for free, can use the space for free. But we know who we are. Everyone knows who he is, and then we can cooperate. So I would say in your case, create a cooperative, even if it's 2 inhabitants, I don't know, create a cooperative for the ownership of the land, and the people who are committed in living there and the people who are committed in putting money in there for the land, they need a special structure because they are different interests. And the people who are in the activity of farming, it can be these people and other, they have another entity and they relate together.
Okay.
And I know we have the reflex. I want to do a project with everything, and everything is under the same structures. but then it creates a lot of conflicts because we have people with different level of commitments. Some that want here, they are just coming here to farm. Some that are really living there every day. Some that put money, and it creates conflicts. It creates confusion and conflicts out of just not clarity on who we are and why we are here.
Yeah, that depends actually of the value of the project. If the activity, the farming activities on the center,
even
how much the farming activity is on the center, and so far for us, it has been the center of what's pull us together. Well, on the middle for many other things, but yeah. But yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your questions. For the checkout, can we have popcorn? Everyone can shower of words of how I feel right now. We can say, I feel, I don't know, everyone say one word. We can say more than one word, but we wait when there is someone to speak, we wait for him to speak, and then we take there is no turns, it's popcorn. How do you feel right now after this session? It can be also negative things. It's not that it doesn't have to be all positive.
I feel inspired and encouraged and relieved that I have found people that I can have these conversations with.
Thank you.
Because I've been finding that difficult to find.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll follow on. A challenge, inspired.
Please, I don't want it to become, don't explain, just one word. And this way it's more dynamic. I know it's not the way, so challenge. And I want people to I know at the beginning it needs to start this thing, but go. And if you're on another word, you tell it. It's like a mantra.
Challenged, inspired, and reflective.
Thank you.
Supported.
Supported.
Enjoy.
Joy.
International.
International.
I feel much more open.
Open.
Yeah.
Like inspired.
Like inspired.
Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic. Okay.
Trusting.
I didn't hear. What? You were?
Trusting.
Rusting? I don't know the word.
Trusting.
Drafting.
Trust.
Lasting. Sorry. Thank you. Lasting.
Trust.
Trusting.
Trusting. Sorry. But it's okay. But it's lasting also. But thank you. Trusting. I'm nourished. Maybe I forgot to ask you if someone has a feedback and really something I would say a pearl for next time. Someone has the courage to give us. Sorry?
The 10 minutes passed.
Yeah, I think we'll close. So if someone has really a pearl to say next time, if you want to improve, do that, and has the courage to share it, that would be amazing, even on the chat or something. And then I will ask you if it's okay for you, the one that are not okay can close their camera, to make a fun face, to make a picture, so I can keep the picture. And I will have your names also this way written. So when I will say 1, 2, 3, and hey, you can make sound even if we will not be on the pictures, to make some funny face, so I can make a picture of the screen if it's okay. Is it okay for you? Yeah, the one is not okay, you can close your camera. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yay! Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And that's all for me. You can go back to a normal activity, a more usual activity. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you, Les Passages.
Thank you.